You know, in the world of web development, some tools are just, well, they're just collections of code. But others, they represent a whole philosophy, a certain way of building software that's all about craftsmanship and elegance. And that right there brings us to Laravel, which calls itself the PHP framework for web artisans. So, what does that even mean, to code like a craftsman? Let's find out. So, before we even get into the code, we really have to get our heads around this core idea, a web artisan. And look, this isn't just some slick marketing slogan, it's the guiding principle behind the entire framework. The whole point isn't just to make things work, it's to make the process of creating them enjoyable, expressive, and clean. It's about treating your code like a craft. And this whole philosophy? It came from a very practical place. As the creator, Taylor Otwell, explains it, back around 2011, a lot of the popular frameworks were just missing some key things. Stuff like handling user logins and permissions was often a real pain to build from scratch every single time. So Laravel was born to solve these real-world problems for developers right out of the box. Okay, so that brings us to the core framework itself. And Laravel makes this really bold promise. Its syntax is so clean and expressive that the code basically becomes its own documentation. Pretty big claim, right? Let's see if it holds up.
All right, take a concept like protecting a user's profile page. That sounds kind of complex security-wise, but with Laravel, it's boiled down to one single instruction. .middleware off. That's it. That one little piece of code makes sure that only logged-in users can get to that page. There's no complicated logic to write, just a clear, super readable command. And that same idea applies to databases. Instead of writing messy, complicated SQL queries, Laravel uses something called the eloquent ORM. I mean, just look at that code. You're not writing select star from flights, you're just asking for flight.all. It lets you talk to your database using natural language, which is an absolute game changer for productivity.
So what about making sure the data that's coming into your application is actually correct? Well, Laravel's validation is just incredibly powerful. You just define your rules in plain English. The title is required, and it has a max length. This simple little array protects your entire application from bad data, and it saves you from writing tons and tons of boilerplate code. But you know, a great framework is always more than just its core code. It's really about all the tools that surround it. So if the framework is the workbench, the ecosystem is the entire workshop, and it's filled with all these specialized tools for pretty much every job you can think of.
And believe me, Laravel's workshop is fully stocked. It offers officially supported tools for everything. You've got first-party packages, application starter kits to get you going fast, deployment platforms, and even application monitoring for when you go live. This all-in-one approach is a huge, huge part of its appeal.
Let's just look at one of those tools, Forge. Now, managing servers has traditionally been one of the most painful parts of web development. Well, Forge just automates it. It helps you set up servers on platforms like DigitalOcean or AWS and then deploy your code with zero downtime. It turns a really complex sysadmin task into just a few clicks. It's amazing.
Here's another common headache. Building an admin panel, a back-end interface to manage all your application's data. This can be so tedious and time-consuming. Well, Nova solves this completely. It lets you build these beautiful, really powerful admin panels ridiculously fast. And it does it right from your existing application code. So here's the crucial takeaway. Laravel doesn't just give you a framework, it gives you solutions. Do you need to handle subscriptions with Stripe? There's a package for that. It's called Cashier. Need to let your users log in with Google or GitHub? Boom, there's Socialite. These official packages handle some of the hardest parts of modern web development for you. Now, this powerful ecosystem, it didn't just appear overnight, not at all. It's the results of over a decade of consistent evolution. It's a journey that took Laravel from being a simple side project to a true industry standard. I mean, just look at this timeline, you can really see the key moments. From its first release way back in 2011 to the game-changing introduction of Composer in 2013, which made it truly modular. Then came long-term support in 2015, which was a huge signal that it was ready for big-time enterprise apps. And that innovation just keeps going, all the way to Laravel 11 in 2024, which even comes with its own real-time WebSocket server.
And all that evolution has definitely not gone unnoticed. In September 2024, Laravel announced a $57 million Series A funding round. Think about that. This isn't just money, it's a massive vote of confidence from the absolute top tier of the tech industry. It solidifies Laravel's future and its position as a major commercial player.
But hey, beyond the code and the funding, What truly defines an open-source project is its community. And Laravel is trusted by thousands and thousands of developers and companies, from solo artisans all the way up to global enterprises.
This kind of loyalty is just perfectly captured in this quote from Adam Wathan. Now, if you don't know, he's the creator of the massively popular Tailwind CSS framework. When a developer of his caliber commits to a tool for a decade, man, that speaks volumes about its quality and the developer experience.
And that loyalty, it extends to major institutions. I love this one. The Harvard Art Museums calls Laravel their sourdough starter, a reliable, living tool that they've depended on for over 10 years. This shows it's not just for flashy new startups. It's a stable, dependable choice for projects that need to last a long, long time.
And you see this sentiment echoed by major tech companies like Elastic. Their endorsement here just perfectly sums up the framework's core strengths, right? It's that careful balance of performance, flexibility, and simplicity, all centered on making sure developers have a great experience.
So, we're left with this one big question. For years, PHP had a certain reputation, but by focusing so intensely on craftsmanship, on developer happiness, and on building a truly world-class ecosystem, Laravel didn't just create a great tool, it arguably elevated and redefined what it even means to be a PHP developer today. It really did put the artisan back into web development.